think a 1 ounce should do today. Get it right up there nice and good. That is nice. That is nice, Ron. That's gonna work. That's where it's at. Probably my favorite color shore jig, that. Nice contrasty color, bit of glow, nice light setup. In for a treat today. Absolutely stunning morning. Absolutely stunning. Morning, guys. We're out here today fishing one of Sydney's beautiful rock ledges. It's a stunning morning, fairly low swell, not much wind. Got the East Australian current pushing down, heaps of bait fish around. Got a good shot at kingfish, bonito, tailor, mac tuna, and if we're really lucky, we might see a longtail or cobia today. I'm just out here chucking a Bait Junkie 10-inch gar on a 1 ounce jig head. So the setup I'm running today, got an 8,000 certate with some 60-pound expedition. I've got the brand new Dragger SX 100HH. It's a really good versatile rod for all sorts of land-based fishing. And there's our beautiful 10-inch white Bait Junkie gar on a 1 ounce jig head. It's hopefully going to get us a big fish today. All right, enough from me. I'm going to get stuck into it. Man, this setup really sends that plastic, eh? It's a 1 ounce jig head. It's going to work a little bit lower this time. Lower and slower. See if there's any fish sitting a bit deeper. Just waiting for one of those hits in close, eh? When you least expect it. Followed it up from the deep. Hopefully right there. All right, let's rip one across the surface and see if we can get a really cool hit. So these plastics are incredibly versatile. There's not many lures out there you can use for kingfish as well as flathead, and rig so many different ways and fish so many different ways. It's a really good, for me, I find it a really good searching bait. I can fish the surface, can fish the bottom. Not too afraid to fish the bottom because it's all relatively cheap. So if I lose it, I lose it, but I'd probably rather lose it to a fish than a bottom. Surface one. Oh, oh. Yeah. Good job, good fun. Nice bonnie to start the morning. Kind of belted that off the surface, to be honest. I thought it was a king at first. He's just shot up and hit it a couple of times. There must have been a few of them. Might get a few quick picks and then let it go. Nice little bonnie to start the morning. Oh my God. Nice little bonnie to start the morning. I'm gonna throw this thing so far into the water. Second, last one. All right. Give me 1 sec. All right. Nice little bonnie to start the morning on a 10-inch gar. It's pretty incredible. A fish even of this size, not that big, he's still keen to hit a big bait like that. We're gonna quickly let him go and keep fishing. Alrighty, getting ready to get back into it. Bait Junkie gar ready to rock and roll. Hasn't budged off that hook because of that Elastamax material, so nice, durable, doesn't get torn up very easy. Ready to get another one. Ah, that was a good hit. I'm gonna go back to my comfortable spot up here. All right, just as you saw there, I got a nice, good reminder of the ocean being unpredictable. Got a little bit more comfortable with a bit more light and found a nice little spot there to stand and got a nice warning splash to move back. So just as a reminder, Always have your life jacket, cleats, and don't go out fishing if it's too rough, you know, it's not worth your life. So you may have seen these floating around for the last year or so. It's a 10-inch Bait Junkie gar. There's a few key features in here that we put a lot of thought into to get the design right. First thing is this trademark Bait Junkie segmented body here, which is designed to free up the tail and give it a nice kicking S action. So when I was talking about how gars swim before, gars have a nice straight body, the head stays still, and it's just that tail kicking away all the way back in. The other thing we've put is some rigging slots on the belly. This is for anyone wanting to attach stingers. Today I'm trying to get a good king mainly, so I haven't worried too much about that because quite often the kings will come up and try and eat this head first. I'm yet to prove that theory today, but give me a little bit of time, I might get one in a bit. I don't think you'll pick it up on camera, maybe on a drone later, but when you see that tail get going, oh, it's got such a tight wiggle to it. It's so similar to a gar. If you watch a gar swim, the head stays nice and still. You just got the tail just kicking away erratically, and that was a big thing we tried to incorporate into the design of this lure, just to mimic a garfish really well. And I think it's done that pretty well. I'll just do it next cast. Oh. Yeah. It's like a Sergeant Baker or something, I think. I don't know. Doesn't feel very big. So I've just switched over to the jig. Oh, it's a little king. Switched over to the jig, just for something a little bit different. Here he is. Jeez, if that's not one of the smallest kings I've ever seen. So switched over to a smaller lure, see if there's anything around, and there's your answer. It's damn cute though. Yeah, quite literally one of the smallest kings I've seen. I'm sure there's kings big enough to eat this king, so we'll let him go now. See ya. All right, let's get stuck into it. All right, the cast before, I just picked up that tiny king off the bottom. Kind of makes me feel like maybe the fish are hanging a bit deep, whether maybe there isn't enough wash or they're just a bit not switched on at the moment. But it was a good opportunity to mix it up, put that jig on, fish the bottom column and pick up that fish pretty much off the bottom that was. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few more. So when shore jigging, I like to pick a rod that's suitable to the lure I'm chucking. I've gone for the Saltiga SL in a 70 gram. Nothing too heavy, not too light, just about right. But when I pick my rod, I want to pick a rod that's going to make it easy to do shore jigging. And these rods do it perfectly. So, oh no, that was another hit. I've got the Draga X 100M. It's a nice soft tip rod, really good for shore jigging like this. And it does a lot of the work for me. I can do this all day and not get tired. And I can also mix up and do some faster retrieving, some more erratic retrieving, just see where the day takes us. Whoop. Another nice little bonnie, 70 gram Saltiga SL jig hanging out its mouth. That sunlight's just hitting that perfectly. All right, see you, buddy. Oh. Let's get some more. So the beauty of these Saltiga jigs is that they're just incredibly versatile. You can work them fast, you can work them slow, work them high, work them low. And quite often when you do work your lure to the surface, you can free spool it back down to the bottom and they'll have a nice flutter to them. And more often than not, you'll hook fish just on the drop. So really good versatile lure for all kinds of species off the rocks. Not only will you get pelagics, but you also get your snapper, any sort of demersal fish will often come up and hit them. So yeah, incredibly productive, effective, versatile way of fishing the rocks. So that one there hit really close to the rocks. Quite often I know they follow it in and then it's that last minute free spool back to the bottom and back up. You'll have a lot of these pelagics patrolling the edges of these rocks. so often I hook them less than 10 meters out, so that was a prime example of that one. Right, we'll get him up, quick photos and back in the drink. So generally, I've got a couple of retrieves. First thing I do is I often just cast out, let it sink to the bottom. So I'll keep my bail arm open, let it go all the way down, feel for it to hit the bottom. Then once it hits the bottom, I'll begin to retrieve. So I like to mix it up. I can do some slow draws, and between each jig, I'm waiting to feel that jig load the rod up again. So I'm doing it nice and slow, feel the weight of the jig load up the tip of the rod and give it that nice little rip. And then I like to do some fast ones. You know, if they're really keyed onto anything moving fast, sometimes I hit this. And then once I feel it get to the surface, I'll freeze pull it, let it go back down to the bottom. And I'll begin the process again. And that usually gets the fish excited, gets some kind of reaction out of them based off any of those retrieves. Alrighty guys, we're coming up to our last cast of the day. I think I've been saying that for like maybe the last half hour. But yeah, it's been a pretty good day. We've only come down for an hour or so in the morning just to get a few fish. We got a fair few bonnies, we got that nice little king, which was pretty cool. But yeah, it was really cool to get out and fish the dragger rods, Saltiga, SL jigs, and the Bait Junkie 10-inch gar. So for any information on any of the products you saw featured in today's video, jump onto our website or check out any of our social media, and you should be able to find out what you're after.